Oh man, I am back, people. That's right.
Yep.
The otter is back, bitches. Uh,
Oh,
no, man, it is good to be back on the Quest podcast. Tonight is our 63rd episode. Can you believe it? It's crazy, man. We're
that is
going
crazy.
hard and we're going strong. And I want to get into our intros for the evening. We have no guests, but we have our regular panel on, and I'm going to introduce Sir M. Baines. What is up, dude?
Nothing much, man. Glad to have you back and ready to get into these topics.
Definitely, dude. Definitely. Remix Essence. What is up, bro?
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Excited to get on into these topics for the night. So, yeah, let's get on into it.
Definitely. And our newest member of the panel, I mean, he's pretty much like family now, because I mean, we were in the pre chat, and we were talking and we were laughing and we were cracking jokes and shit, and
Oh yeah,
it was a lot
definitely.
of fun. And gonna introduce Monkey Punch. What is up, dude?
What is up, guys? It's happy to have Dark back and we can get some of these topics rolling, bro. And it's good to have everybody back, man.
Definitely, dude. Definitely. So, like you guys know, we always like to start out the show with what have we been playing this week, and I want to start off with Monkey Punch. What have you been playing, man?
Playing a lot of games. PUBG. I just finished Uncharted: Lost Legacy on the PlayStation 4. Been playing some of my old PlayStation games. I played RBI Baseball on the Xbox One. I played Batman: Return to Arkham. So I've been playing a lot of games, man. It's just not enough time to play everything, man. But trying my best to play whatever I can.
That is the truth, man. There's not enough time in the day or in the week, or
Yeah,
even
you
when you
work a
have
lot. You don't have
vacation,
time.
like even
Yeah.
when you have vacations, there's like not enough time. You're like, what the fuck, but uh
Yeah, it is, man. When you got all these games, you're like, what should I play tonight?
I
You're
know,
like, I don't
right?
know.
It's crazy, man, especially when you got that backlog. But
Yeah.
Remix, what have you been playing, dude?
Yeah, man, I've been playing a little bit of Siege as usual, as well as I've been, just grinding through Far Cry 5. Man, that game is absolutely amazing. I actually only have, I've killed all the siblings, so I just have to take out Joseph now. So I
Oh,
think I
dude.
have like the final
Golly,
mission.
you've
So
been doing more than grinding, boy.
yeah, dude. Like I
Yeah.
have
You
been
got more
like
than I did.
I
I
literally
got like
like
halfway.
I
I had
took
to
a
stop.
person
I had to
out.
stop
I
myself.
cleared a section like in one day, every day, pretty much.
So,
That
so you
shit like
basically are you doing side missions too, or are you just
yeah, like some side missions. I basically do like some side missions, all the story missions, all the like I hit all the stashes and
nice?
stuff, and just kind of roam the world and do stuff, and then mainly progress through like the main stuff though. But
All right.
yeah, man, that game is just a ton of fun. Like I mean, it's been more than a few. Like I've been playing it over a few days, so I haven't been taking quite out one a day. But yeah, man, it's a good game, and I'll probably finish that off like tonight or this weekend. So come back to you with my thoughts on the end, and next week.
I think you could probably give us your thoughts now, but I get it. I
Yeah,
get
just
it.
give us now. You love the game.
I mean, thoughts on the ending. I mean, my thoughts on the
Yeah,
game.
right. Of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
You want to play through the ending? I get it. I respect that. But Baines, what have you been playing, dude?
When I've had time, I've been playing a little Monster Hunter and doing a little Far Cry here and there. I'm I've taken out two of the siblings, and I'm almost like at the end of about to face the third one, Jacob. So
Mm.
I have like a little
You
more
went in a
XP.
different order.
Yeah, I have a little more XP before I'm able to face him. So that's
Yeah.
about it, man. That's all I've had time to play actually. So yeah.
Nice, dude. And I've been playing absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Uh, as you guys know, I posted it up on Twitter. I have a family member in the hospital right now. It's been a lot of it's been a up and down cycle that's been going on right now over there at the hospital. So, I just been trying to spend as much time with them as I can, and it's been rough to, I'm like thinking about it, like, man, maybe I should bring the Switch with me, and then I realize like the Switch isn't even charged yet, and I'm just like, man, fuck it, I gotta go, go to the hospital. So it's been one of those, these past couple weeks have been a roller coaster. So, but hopefully I can get back to gaming and play some games with some of you people out there in the chat, and of course on the panel, of course. I'll always like playing games with you guys too. So
For sure, man.
but we're gonna get into our topics for the evening. So apparently, when we started, I thought everybody watched Inside Xbox, but I guess not. Me and Monkey watched Inside Xbox, so you know, give your guys' thoughts on what you thought of the show. And I know you guys can chime in a little bit because I know you guys saw some of the news that was going on um, during that time frame. So um, definitely chime in on what you guys thought about it Inside Xbox.
I think it was a pretty good show, man. They had a lot of announcements, with all the new OG games that's coming back, like Jada Empire, all the Star Wars games, and the X Enhanced 360 games they brought. They had a big lineup, man. I was surprised how many games they had because I was surprised that they threw a lot of old classic games back, and plus they're all visually enhanced. That's like a whole new game to you that you haven't played in forever.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like they're bringing back the original Xbox games. Those are like 19 games or something like that, and a lot of them are Star Wars games, but a lot of them are the best Star Wars games. So it's like maybe this is kind of maybe a sign of Disney kind of saying something about like what they feel about some of the games that
And
have been
their
coming
lack of
out.
Star Wars games.
Yeah, the lack of Star Wars games, and they're like, maybe we should give
This
our
is
fans
good.
something.
It's good that they're supporting it. That Disney's letting them, bring all these games, and then plus they got Conquerors Reloaded, Live and Reloaded. That was a great game from Rare, so that's a great addition to play if you never played Conquerors ever. That's a real good
I
game.
didn't actually see the lineup of Xbox originals that they're bringing back. What are some of the Star Wars games that they're bringing?
Battlefront 2, Starfighter, Jedi Starfighter,
Jedi Academy,
Jedi Academy,
I could still play
Rebel
the
Assault.
old Battlefields, man. I could definitely still play those. Go back and
They even brought back
hop into some of those.
Mercenaries. They brought
Didn't
back
they?
Mercenary
They also
Playground
brought
of
back
Destruction.
Republic Commando, right? Star Wars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Even
So
the
I
Old
mean,
Republic too, the Sith Lords too. They did that
yeah,
one too.
Old Republic too. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, really? I actually want to try that as well as you said if they brought back Republic Commando as well. Those are like two old school games that Star Wars games I never played that I wanted to go back to at some point. Like I was planning on, playing those on PC at some point probably, but
Yeah, and
They brought back.
they're all
They
enhanced
got
if you have the X. If you have the Xbox One
oh
X,
yeah.
they're all enhanced
no, I
with
don't.
4K and stuff like that. So I mean, if you have an X out there, definitely get those games because I mean, you're definitely gonna see the improvements that they would. Because I mean, I was watching the video and I was just like, dang, like the improvements are like some of those games looked almost like early versions of 360 games, and I was like, dang.
Yeah, I know they got Red Dead Redemption on 4K.
Yeah, now they have Red Dead Redemption on 4K. That's crazy, dude. I was just
Nice.
like, I heard it looked,
Yeah, I
I heard
heard
it
it
looks
looked
phenomenal.
awesome. Yeah, yeah.
They did a good job, man. They did. They even got Panzer Dragoon Orta.
Yeah, Panzer Dragoon Orta, like that's even better. Like I mean, the lineup of like backwards compatibility games that they've been bringing out are just like they've been solid pretty much. I haven't really seen anything that I was like, oh my god, I can't believe they're bringing this back, or whatever. It's always
Yeah,
been
I mean,
kind of
plus it's
solid.
added content to the catalog. So I mean, even if you see like a bad game or a game that you've never heard of, like who cares? Somebody may have played it and it's just nostalgia for them.
Yeah,
But
it's like
Yeah.
that MX game. Not really a fan of MX, but hey, it's there.
Right, and then they had the SSX, right? game as well.
Yeah.
The original Xbox game, which is
I
cool.
wish I wish they brought a Half-Life. That'd be awesome.
That would be
That game.
sick, dude. Well, I mean, even if they just brought back Orange Box or something like that, yeah,
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
that'd be sick, man.
Orange Box freaking redone or like just better textures.
Well, I also know that they introduced the new map that was on the PC before, but also that now it's finally coming to Xbox. But the Miramar map on PUBG. What did you guys think of that?
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, like I've seen some of the map before. You know, I didn't catch inside Xbox itself, even though like a lot of topics I ended up like throwing in the chat were just from there anyway. But they yeah, man. You know, I'm excited for the new Miramar map. I haven't really played PUBG in a few weeks, so you know, probably hop back on and try out that map with some people, as well as I know they've been playing around with a couple different modes, like the shotgun melee mode. Looks pretty fun. I don't know if that's still going on or not, but yeah, definitely have to hop in there and try that out. And I think it will give you know, another couple weeks of like life for PUBG. For sure.
Well, they're
Oh,
also
yeah.
aren't they doing a free weekend this weekend, or was it
Yeah,
they
last
are.
weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably when they're gonna do that. That's probably why they're doing that shotgun mode.
Mhm.
I mean that would only make sense because I mean they would have more people, to play it.
No, that's
Um,
cool to have a new map, and I've been waiting for that map for a while.
Mhm.
That
yeah, I
should
mean, how long have we been waiting for the map? I mean, not technically not as long as
Well,
PC, but we've been
well,
waiting a little
PC,
bit.
yeah.
Well, a
Well,
little bit.
everybody says the desert map's just like a camp area. Everyone's in a camp. It's a camp area. You're not gonna.
Well, I mean, the game's a camp game, like
Yeah, no, ain't it? Everybody
like
camps in that game. What do you expect to do? Be out there? Hey,
like
hello, shoot me. You
like
know?
this isn't like Call of Duty, where there's like no camping. It's more like it's more around the
It's
lines
all
of
about tactics.
tactics. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
Right.
yeah.
Who's better at camping, basically?
Yeah, but yeah,
Who's
I
better at
mean,
sneaking around?
really, that
Oh
is.
yeah.
I mean, camping's a core part of the game.
Oh yeah. Every game has campers. That's
Yeah.
that's the thing. Some will be out in the building far
And
away.
I
You don't
think,
even know they're.
as far as this new map, man, I mean, PUBG needs something, man. I mean, they need
Yeah, they need
something
those.
for, especially for the Xbox crowd. I think this map's been out on PC for a while, right? So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
a couple
Yeah.
months.
Well,
I
I
think
think
they
They
I
need.
actually.
think
I
they
think
also
it came out.
They
I
need to
think
get
it.
like a formula like Fortnite does, where they're constantly like updating like
Yeah,
new
new updates and stuff.
challenges
yeah,
and new little modes. No, that's what PUBG needs. Something like
yeah.
those
Well,
modes where they
that's
can.
what they're doing with the shotgun melee mode. I was gonna say like that's just part of their. You know, they said that they're gonna be bringing some new random modes into the game that try to switch up gameplay a little bit. So I think that's part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, as for Miramar, I think it's only been on PC since the full release of the game. Some people I think had it right before, or like they had it and then it was taken away before the full release. But it hasn't been out on PC that long, and
Well, it
No,
came out.
no, it
It came
hasn't.
out before PUBG came out on Xbox. I know that for sure.
all right,
Yeah,
yeah. So
it
I
did.
think, but I think it came out then, and then like they and officially kind of release it with the like full release of PUBG on PC, or like or not the full release, but the like the whatever the version update was. But yeah, man. And then as for bringing more content to the game, I mean they do have that third map. I believe it's a winter map, which we don't know much about. Supposedly in the works, which should be coming to PC hopefully sometime soon. But
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm
yeah, I
definitely hoping
think
for that.
I feel like I mean they probably don't have much in the works, and that's why they haven't come out with anything. But I think the one of the best things that PUBG could do is just come out with a like kind of a update plan of what they're going to be bringing to PUBG over the next like
right,
6 months or a year or whatever.
right. They
I think
need they
that's
need a
their best
roadmap.
option. They need a roadmap, especially
Mhm.
because they are competing with Fortnite, and Fortnite's just taking over.
Yeah, I mean, Fortnite's just it's obliterating PUBG right now. It's
Oh
just
yeah, yeah.
it's crazy, man.
Mm.
I just
Yeah.
every time I turn around, I hear people talking about Fortnite. In my inner circle of
Hmm.
people that aren't on Xbox and podcasts and stuff like that. People that are outside who are
Yeah.
not really get into that kind of stuff. They're all talking about Fortnite and how great that game is. while I'm over here saying, "Oh, Far Cry 5 is awesome," they're like, "Man, that's like Far Cry 2," and I'm all like, "Okay."
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like we brought up like today in class, we're talking about like technology disrupting, social interaction, and Fortnite came up in the conversation, so
Wow. Wow.
like some student brought up Fortnite, so like it's obviously pretty prominent amongst like just your average consumer,
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Fortnite's a household name, man.
Oh yeah,
And,
it is. I don't play it much, but it's a
crazy.
household name. It's a household name.
Yeah.
I don't play it much.
But yeah, so just to wrap up, on PUBG, I think that creating that roadmap at least gives PUBG fans or people that might play both games, something to look ahead, to have something to look ahead for the future of PUBG, and kind of keep them there rather than maybe switching to Fortnite or just.
Oh yeah, they do have. They have
PUBG,
new. They have new costumes coming out too, like crate costumes too, like a Western costume and a couple other ones I've seen.
Yeah, I feel like PUBG probably needs an update in their cosmetic section because Fortnite definitely outdoes them there. I know it's a more tactical game, but I think they should be less serious in some aspects.
Yeah, we don't need we don't need no dancing emotes or anything. We just need we're doing the hustle over there while you're playing Fortnite or something.
Well, now since we're on the topic of battle royale games, Lawbreaker Studio has made a free-to-play battle royale game, which is only on Steam, but it's in super early access. And from what I hear, it's terrible.
Dude, I watched a little bit of gameplay.
Trailer, man.
Wow.
And it looks
my
terrible
God.
from the trailer. So I mean, what are you guys' thoughts on that? I mean, what do you guys think?
I've seen it, and they're like, "Oh, this is a 5-month passion." I'm like, "Passion? This is just like you just threw this shit out there and said, here, man, we need to do something for them lawbreakers destroying us, Like we need something, man." And it looks like an old '80s like Starsky and Hutch game or something, dude. Riding a bike, running around, shooting guys and making money. It's just they're just reaching, dude, because they don't have anything else.
Dude, I mean, it's just really. I think it just sends a real fucking bad message about what your studio is all about. Like first they come out with Lawbreakers, which is hopping on a little late to the game, which was unsuccessful, and it was hopping on the shooter hero bandwagon or hero shooter bandwagon. Sorry,
which was taken.
And now they're just making this game, and it's called fucking Radical Heights. What the fuck kind of name is that? But but it's called, and they're just hopping on the battle royale bandwagon, and they're doing it in the worst way possible. They come out with an unpolished, shitty game that's not tuned on Steam early access. Like if you want your battle royale game to be successful, since PUBG and Fortnite are already out there, you have to come out, I think, with a full launch on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation.
Yeah.
And
even if it is early access, come
even
out
if it
on
is
it.
early access, and just from like looking at kind of like they changed up the way the loot systems work, which just like don't seem as fun. The world looks empty. Obviously, like the textures and stuff are bland. And then when you look at the shooting, and the guy I was watching said that I was like, man, the shooting just looks off. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
it does like in PUBG you have your kind of realistic shooting, and in Fortnite like it has a different kind of shooting, but it's on point.
Right.
And it just looked off, and even the guy playing the game was like, yeah, the shooting in this game is just like horrible. I don't know what it is. It just
I feel bad for Cliff Levinsky, dude, because I know what that guy's trying to do.
I don't
I feel bad.
But
He should have never said nothing about Xbox. You should shut his damn mouth and should have fucking made a game. That's all I'm saying. Because everybody loved him in Gears. I think he's lost his way of designing games, because he was so great when it comes to he did with the Gears.
Yeah.
He's nothing like he is anymore.
But that's the thing, like with this game, it's like when I saw the trailer, I was all like, where is, like, it looked like there was just only 4 people playing that game at a time. I was just like, why isn't there more action, Why isn't it like PUBG trailers or or
Mhm.
like Fortnite trailer.
It
You know, like when you see a Fortnite trailer, you're like, damn, dude, I want to play that. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, this one is
when
Yeah.
you see
like, what the
PUBG,
hell?
when you see
Yeah.
even when you see PUBG, you're like, damn, I want to play that.
Yeah, because they put the action-packed parts in the game. I mean, both games have
Yeah.
slow portions and both have fast portions. Like
Mhm.
I don't know, man. This game is just a complete. Well,
Dead
it's
on
it's
arrival.
free, so it's. I mean, I guess it has private microtransactions, but it's not even a cash grab. And even if it
No.
was a cash grab, it's not even a fucking good cash grab. Like, at least try to make a little fucking money off your shitty idea, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
and that
They should
and
have never
that's
brung it out, dude. That's all I can say.
and that's the problem. Every time it seems like Cliff Blazinski tries to come out with something new, or try to innovate on something. It's like it's not working, Cliff, because you know why?
Mhm.
Lawbreakers came out at the worst time.
mhm.
Overwatch took over that hero shooter genre, and it's been
Yeah.
sailing ever since. And
You
then,
got
right
Paladins. You got
now,
Paladins. Paladins is a better game than that.
well, now you have, them coming out with a battle royale game, and it's like it's like, well, Fortnite and PUBG are really going neck and neck, but mostly Fortnite's taking it over. Fortnite's becoming
Mhm.
a bigger game than PUBG, and that honestly, I simply think because of the reason why Fortnite's so much bigger is not only because
Bigger
of the
company.
updates, but it's free, and
Right.
it's on everything. It's on
Yep.
all
On your,
consoles and
it's on.
well, except for Switch, but it's
Except
on
for
all
Switch.
consoles and PC. It's just like it's on everything. You when you're doing
Hmm.
something like this, you got to come out with it on everything, man. And
Mhm.
that's the same mistake you did with Lawbreakers, and that's the same mistake you're doing with this game.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just need to go back to the drawing board, take 4 years,
Yeah.
and make something that you're really passionate about instead of
Yeah,
They
something
said it.
that's just
signs
They
of a
said it was a.
cocky individual to me.
Yeah. They said it
Yeah.
was a. Was passionate. They just.
Well, my
They
issue.
already dropped support of Lawbreakers. They say they ain't
Oh
supporting
yeah,
it
they
no
said
more.
they left that shit.
They left that shit gone.
This
They
is
said,
their
"Up,
new
we're not done with that.
product.
This is their new garbage game that could replace your
It's a
Candy
garbage.
Crush or something."
I mean,
But
if it does well,
I'd be
kudos to
surprised.
them.
well,
Awesome.
it won't
Great
do
for them.
well. I'm gonna call it now,
Nah.
and if it did do well, I'd eat my shit. But it's not gonna do well.
Wow.
It's gonna die.
I give it the same kind of a support Lawbreakers got. Shit,
Should
nothing.
we hold remix to that? Should we hold them to
Yeah,
that?
I
I
mean,
yeah.
mean,
We gotta hold you to that
literal
remix. We gotta
shit.
hold them to that.
All right. I'll eat my
You
own
you
words. But
you
but
eat shit. We
my
hope you're
biggest
gonna eat shit
problem.
live on camera.
Shut the fuck up. My big is neither it's neither new nor it's not original nor is it innovative.
mhm.
Um, you either have to come out with a new idea, which can be hard to do, or at least add new ideas to like what's already being done, which he hasn't done here nor in Lawbreakers. I mean, Lawbreakers tried the gravity effect, which could have been something,
But it was
but
only in certain sections
it
of
was
the
only in
of the
small
map.
sections.
Yeah.
I
They
never played it, so I don't know. I never played
the gravity
Lawbreakers.
effect was way overrated.
Yeah.
It was a very small portion of the game, and honestly, the game just did not flow because you had no run ability, and so all your movement is based on any movement system that your character is given, like a dash or something.
Mhm.
But you really needed the gravity to make most use of that, and gravity was really only on very small portions of the map, so it was useless.
You know
And
what's so
then,
funny is Cliff. He said this game was supposed to be what a multi-billion-dollar game that he wanted to
yeah.
bring.
And like at least like Fortnite, it's honestly, the map in terms of the map and stuff, it's a complete copy of PUBG, just smaller, condensed, building small towns. But they add things, but they have the whole building mechanic, and they have a new art style, and that those are innovations on the genre that attract people.
It's
And,
true.
and and I think they even have different weapons too, and they have like
Yeah,
weapons that are like kind of cartoony in some ways,
yeah,
right?
they have
Too.
special
Like,
weapons.
Yeah,
I mean,
it looks like
they have like an
it's like a fort.
M16,
Yeah,
but
like a
then they have
big
a tactical shot.
bazooka. They had a bazooka. I think I saw it in there.
They just added the guided missile too, didn't they?
Yeah, to
Yeah.
To Fortnite, and that's
Yeah.
pretty sick. I was just like,
I
dang,
mean,
man.
people actually riding around on the missile. I seen somebody riding around on it, and then it let it go to kill somebody. I'm like, dang, they're
That's
doing all
great.
kind of stuff in the game,
Epic's
man.
got Epic's going hard, bro. They're a bigger company than than Bluehole, so they got more resources to do shit. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
PUBG. Bluehole don't have a lot of people, just they can
True.
just throw content on there all the time, like Fortnite does.
That is very true.
Well, that's why they need to team up with somebody.
Yeah, they need to team up with another company or somebody. Say, hey, we need help, like putting out content because Fortnite's just every time I see it, there's something new all the time. Another season of stuff that people love, man. It's just those little things that make you happy, make the game want you to go back to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
We're gonna move on from that. We're gonna talk about God of War. You guys all know God of War is coming out in what, a week, somewhere around there,
and
and it's gotten some really good reviews. But now, do you guys think that these reviews are just overrated, or is this gonna be the game that's gonna define the generation? What do you guys think about the God of War reviews? Are you gonna get the game and play it for yourself, or are you just gonna be like, nah, these reviews are too overhyped. I don't think I'm gonna play the game at all.
What are the actual numbers? Do you know?
It's 94 on Metacritic right now.
Yeah, ready.
It's
94. The game's not
I
even.
think it's the
IGN
highest
gave it a
rated
10. Polygon
PlayStation
gave it a
system.
10. Destructoid gave it a 10.
IGN gave it a 10.
GameSpot gave it a 9. Game Informer gave it a 9.75, which I still don't understand how that fucking works. But
I don't know.
Like I get half points to a degree, like a 9.5. But come on.
Not-
We have stop getting into some.
It's some media biases. Media bias, dude. I'm telling you.
Stop getting 0.75, man. Come on. But all right. I mean, my basic thoughts are I have no doubt that it's not a good game. I think it'll probably end up being a pretty good game, and I'll probably, when I get around to playing it, I don't have my PlayStation currently at school, but when I get around to playing it, I'm sure I'll really enjoy the game. But yeah, I do think there's definitely some it's being overhyped here. I mean, I believe I read it's already the highest rated PlayStation 4 exclusive to come out yet on Metacritic. So I mean, that's pretty crazy. So, I would think something like Horizon Zero Dawn should maybe have that right, over
like
a game
80
like
or
this.
90, but man,
Well, I
people doing
mean, you
it
got to
straight
think
out of
like it's
10.
not about the right.
No. Mm-mm.
It's not about the what?
It's about how good the game is. So,
right.
I mean, I'm not gonna say anymore whether it's overhyped or not, because they have overhyped things. But I thought the same thing about Zelda, and it wound up being a great game. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna wait, man. I'm looking forward to it, and I'll be playing it whenever I get a chance.
I'll be playing it, but I how do you give a game so high of a rating yet? And...
Yeah, my biggest issue is just if the game's good, it's good.
Oh yeah,
but,
it's very good.
My biggest issue is just that from what we have seen of the game, it does look like this very linear story path with, it has some different gameplay mechanics, but ultimately it just looks so similar to Uncharted or Last of Us, like the kind of progression of the game.
They have already said it in a lot of the reviews and in a lot of the videos that I've been watching. They said that it does open up at certain points, and there are some backtracking that you can do, and there's a lot of different secret areas that you can go in the game. So I mean, it's not completely linear.
Right.
It did have some Uncharted elements and some Last of Us elements to it, but I think with it being Kratos and how brutal it is, I should say. Brutality. That's retarded. Now I'm gonna get in trouble for saying that word. But I think it's like they should have maybe kind of got out of that little mold that they're in, with the Uncharted, Last of Us kind of, thing. And I mean, I never really liked the old God of Wars, so like I'm like, kind of still a little skeptic about this one, even though I know it's getting really great reviews. There's a lot of good things to be said about it, but I'm still on the fence about this game because I'm like I never really liked the other God of Wars,
See,
even
yeah,
though I
like
know it has a different camera, it has a different
yeah,
system, there's different things going on, and I like that it's a little bit harder and it's not Dark Souls hard, but it's not super easy either. From what it sounds like, it's gonna be kind of like almost in the middle of that, and and I like that it's going to be a challenge because I don't really like games that are super easy. I like games that
Yeah.
are not Dark Souls, but I don't like
No.
I don't like games that I like games that are not so much on the Dark Souls side with the difficulty, but um if it does have a challenge, I'm down for it. But I'm still at that point of like I don't know, are these reviews
Yeah,
are
it's
they
a
being
review,
hyped a
and
Well,
little
that's the
bit
other
too
thing.
much,
yeah, I
or
think
well,
is
see,
is
to me, it's another sign of confidence by the developer
right,
for lifting the NDA so far
yeah,
ahead of release. I mean,
yeah,
the
right,
game doesn't come out to the 20th, and they
yep.
already lifted the NDA. So obviously, they thought they had a gem on their hands.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
But you,
that kind of
you,
goes. I mean, it kind of goes together if you think
right.
about it. Now, I've played all of the mainline God of Wars, like 1, 2, and 3. I've played all of those, so I'm a big fan of the series anyway. So I
yeah,
was in the first time I ever saw, the first time PlayStation showed this, I was in.
right.
So now I'm just, just ready to go with the game.
The
I'm glad the reviews from.
Santa Monica's got a lot of trust in their game. They've made a lot
Yeah,
of games, and most of them have always been successful. So I'm gonna get it regardless. I'm gonna play it, but it's just gonna be a different game since it's the camera's a little bit different now, and Kratos can't jump anymore. So I don't know what they put into the game
But I
now.
haven't heard too much like complaining about that. I haven't
Oh,
really heard anybody saying like, "Oh, this is terrible because there's no jumping mechanic." I've
yeah.
only really
Only thing
seen
I think they said that has bad about it is that it was great interactive cinematics, great graphics. They only said that the thing that was bad. It said like the skill tree was kind of lactive, and a couple other things. I think it was. They said the skill tree wasn't that great, like when you leveling up.
Yeah, it's just I think it's gonna be interesting to see where this game goes within a week after its
Yeah,
release. If,
and I
are
haven't.
people still gonna be talking about it, or is it just gonna fall to the wayside? Like most of the PlayStation exclusives have kind of done that, where they've come out, they were talked about for maybe like a week or two, and then they just kind of fall off because they're always kind of a linear type of game. Except for Horizon Zero Dawn, for some reason that
well, I
game was
would,
talked about
yeah,
a
because I
lot.
was about to say, like, you could say maybe people stop. I don't know. I guess you could say people stop talking about them because they really don't really stop getting talked about because it's always brought up in console wars. It's always being talked
That is
about,
true.
Oh yeah, it
and
always
then
has been.
the second thing is most of their exclusive have done really well. So I'm talking above 5 million copies. If you name the top exclusives, Uncharted, Horizon Zero Dawn, I don't know what else, but most of the big ones have done really well.
True.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, like Lost Legacy did good too.
right,
Yeah.
so
You know.
Well, I think my big thing, I haven't read too many, like, I haven't really read any reviews or anything because I want to just kind of go into the game on my own. But, you also just got to be like, I don't, personally, I rather not go to those big sites and look at what number they assign to it. But, I like watching YouTube videos and getting a feel for people's opinions that I
Well,
actually
even
trust,
they're really hyping this game. They're really
Yeah.
saying it's really good. Even on YouTube, I've been listening to the YouTube videos, and I'm just like, all right. I mean, they're kind of they're convincing me that the game is good, but it's like I'm still kind of like I don't know. Like I don't know if I'm gonna like this game because I didn't really like the last God of Wars. I know that's probably blasphemy, and stuff, but I just never got into them. I never got into that kind of like hack and slash type of genre. I never, I played, Devil May Cry, and I never touched it after that. The only game I think I played that was like hack and slash like that was Bayonetta, and I actually liked those games, but I didn't pay attention to the story. I just paid attention to like the action and the combat, and plus I didn't buy them until they came out on frickin' the Switch. So
And
Yeah, it's gonna be a great game regardless, dude. It's just all everybody's opinion. Everybody's gonna play it and get their. I didn't watch anything about God of War. I didn't watch none of the trailers or nothing. I just
right.
just like Remix said. I just like I'm gonna go in and play it and then see how I enjoy it and I like it. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't.
Yeah, and I also just hate assigning numbers to stuff because numbers are so subjective. Like
That's
for
true.
some people, a 10 does not exist. For some people, like a 7 may be a shitty game, or that might be a 7 might be a game that you go and boot up every day, and that's like your go-to. So it's also just like
Yeah, I don't believe in the number system. I think the numbers is just it's not.
yeah. I'd rather just hear your thoughts.
Yeah,
And then I'll form my own opinion.
exactly.
Yeah, everybody got their own opinion, man. So everybody's gonna play it and give their take on how the game is.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on God of War before we move
Looking
on?
forward to it.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to God of War, man. Always been a God of War fan, so I'm not hating on them. I know they always do good games.
So you must really hate me right now then, because I didn't like the God of Wars.
No, don't hate you. I played them all. I even played the PlayStation Vita versions. I even beat those. I beat all those.
Dang. All right. Shit. So speaking of PlayStation, PlayStation 5 apparently is a real thing. But it's not coming anytime soon. Apparently, from what analysts have been saying, it's coming out in 2020. I don't know if I mean, I could see that happening actually more than 2019 or even this year. I know I've heard some things of people saying this year, but there's no way that's happening. I mean, especially with God of War just coming out and then The Last of Us coming. They said that was going to be on the PS4. So, I mean, that I can't see that happening. But what are you guys' thoughts about the PS5 being real and
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing is, there's just been a debate. Like, we all know, like, something's coming, right? But there's been a debate on when it will be, and a lot of Sony fans I know touted it would come maybe, like, it would come by 2019, pretty much. Some even said 2018 at one point, I feel. But I think the general consensus is kind of, 2020 to 2021, whatever is the best time, because their console may be done before then, but whatever is the best time slot that they feel to release the console. And this also depends on what Xbox does. Maybe PlayStation is thinking 2020, but Xbox isn't coming until 2021, and so PlayStation makes some slight adjustments and improvements and come out to the 2021 slot, because with the Pro and the X, even though they technically are not considered generational caps or new generations of consoles, I mean, they are pretty big and pricey, integrations into the line. So, that kind of throws off the whole scheduling of of the consoles kind of coming out at the same time with, say, like the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One originals.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's PlayStation and Xbox. It's going to be very close to each other. I think those are going to come out around the same time, like they did in 2013. I think
there's no rush for this system, man. I don't.
Yeah,
I understand they want people saying, "Oh, this year or next year." You think they're gonna actually bring it out this year on a 218?
No.
Right now? Come on. They just said they just got the development.
Yeah, it's not coming out this year at all.
They just want people to know, and hey, we got our new system coming. Hey, I don't care. Bring it out whatever you guys think it's ready. Don't just
yeah.
Well, I know that know the Don said that there hasn't even been any development kits at all from the people he
Yeah.
knows that make video
Mhm.
games. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's just basically it's basically just you know
Well, I mean,
you know
apparently there's some GPU and CPU, like computers just using the GPU and CPU that
yeah
Well,
there's
they
like a
said it's gonna
list
be.
of
possibly
They
stuff
be
that
said
out
they're
there.
it's
putting
gonna be
in
a Ryzen chip. That's what I've been hearing.
But I think it's actually, like kind of funny because the immediate reaction to after the X comes out or is like announced and stuff, uh like the immediate reaction is, when is the PS5 coming out, from the Sony fan base, which is funny because it's like the Pro wasn't there. It seemed like they actually were scared from the X, because the Pro wasn't up to the same speed necessarily. But I mean, Sony has nothing to worry about. They can
No.
they
Yeah.
should just be worried on whatever time scale Xbox is going to come out in, because the PS4 is the fucking dominant console, and that's
Yeah,
not
it's
going to change.
dominating.
No
Yeah,
matter
it's
how many
dominating
consoles
now. So
Xbox
why?
sells,
No, it's
Sony
yeah
not
doesn't
it's
gonna
give
make.
not
a
gonna
fuck
change.
from
It's
now
not gonna
till
make
whenever the
a
next.
difference, dude. It's
The
not.
Yeah.
only
It's
way
not.
it changes is if Sony does something stupid and not have backwards
Well, Sony
compatibility
can't.
next year.
Sony can't do anything that bad. You know that, dude.
Which is the
Their
thing.
console.
I don't think either company is gonna make a mistake because I think
Right.
they've kind
And
of
if
I
learned
think
from
both
that.
companies know
Like
where they stand.
yeah,
You know,
and if Sony doesn't make a mistake, then they're gonna carry their audience over.
yeah, and
Only
then
problem is
it's the same
PlayStation.
thing with
PlayStation's
Xbox.
not.
Like the
They don't.
Xbox is gonna
They don't
carry
care
its
about.
audience over as well because of the
Right.
fact that backwards
Yeah.
compatibility and everything. So it's gonna carry their audience over. So it might just be like the same generation that it was this year,
Right.
or
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I think
this
I think
time.
you'll see some shift.
PlayStation doesn't care about backwards capability at all. They haven't. They don't care for the
Well, they
consumers that
they
have it.
they have a patent out
Since
there
last
for
generation,
backwards
they
compatibility.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, the PlayStation
I
3,
doubt
but
they
nobody
make
really.
that mistake again. They're not gonna come. They're gonna have. It's gonna be backwards compatible with the PS4. Like
I
Oh yeah,
honestly
that's gonna
think
not.
happen.
Believe yeah.
honestly
It's not going to
think
go any
that
further than that. It's not going to have anything old. 'Cause I bought games before on PlayStation where I had to buy them
Right. You'll be
twice
able to
because
access all that still on PlayStation now,
yeah,
and that's how they'll do
Which
I
that.
want.
that's the thing. Like
I don't.
PlayStation Now is such it's never gonna work, man. I mean, I've
No,
seen people say like they've tried it and it's just like it's terrible. It doesn't work.
I
It's a
tried it. It's
broken
no, yeah, they need to take
it's
service.
that
no.
in a whole new direction. But real quick, I want
Well,
to
They
talk
need to
about
bite.
Microsoft
They
is
need to.
is thinking about going
They
the
need to
same
bite.
direction now. Just remember
They need to
that.
bite in the bullet.
Even
No,
though
Game
because
Microsoft
Pass
has
Microsoft
is
different,
different.
because
Microsoft
Game
has
Pass,
servers,
Game
but
Pass
Game
But
is
no,
Pass
no,
just a
no,
is
no, no.
completely
download.
different.
What I, no,
PlayStation,
what
you
I'm
have to
talking about
either.
is Phil had several interviews. I thought y'all remember this, that he said that they already had a streaming service but it just wasn't, I guess, cost effective. They couldn't get it to work right or the way they
Well,
wanted
yeah,
it to
well,
work.
and when
So,
it does
so in
work,
a few
they'll
years
implement
down
it.
the line, which I think they were saying like 2 or 3 years down the line, they were going to introduce that service. Game Pass is a way to shepherd that service in
Yeah.
But
to get you
I
hooked
think
now on what Game Pass is, and then to introduce you to streaming later. So you're going
but
to
I
have the
think
same thing.
I think streaming is a long way off, man. Our internet is not even
Not
capable.
capable of running games like that all
Yeah,
the time
running games
without
like
getting
that.
buffered and getting
Even
buffered and
people who have the best internet still cannot stream off of PlayStation Now. So it's gonna take some
no.
time for that
Well,
kind of thing to.
Microsoft has a whole server farm, so I
Yeah.
mean, Microsoft has access to a lot more than what Sony has access
Oh
to.
yeah,
I
That's
they
think
true. That
do.
is
so.
true,
Their
but I
their
don't know.
their
They got better
their
servers
service
than
would probably
PlayStation does.
work better than PlayStation's, but it's just the thought process that they both are going to be along the same lines. Now, Microsoft will have a better service, but they'll still both have a streaming service at some point in time.
No, yeah, I agree with
Oh
you,
yeah.
Beans, but I think the point of that's why they have Game Pass is that they will not come out with that streaming service until they know it's gonna
Right,
work.
until they know it's
Yeah,
working.
they want it to
Whereas
work.
Sony
Yeah.
has, give me a sec. While Sony came straight out with PlayStation Now, but its streaming capabilities aren't the only issue. It is its game library and it is its price. So,
but the price is the issue. But the game library is pretty good. Have you looked at it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
PlayStation
their
has a
gaming
good game
library, the
engine.
library is not the problem. It's the streamings, it's the service
well, it
because it
was a
doesn't
problem
work.
Yeah.
for a while
And
though. For a
yeah,
while,
but
they
it's
only had
No.
yeah.
PlayStation 3
I'm just saying
games.
at this as we speak today, their
Mhm.
I
gaming
haven't looked over it.
library in PlayStation Now is vast. I mean, it is a
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
great library. Their
they
Oh, it's a
got
problem
big
they
is
got
the
a
library.
lot of
service,
PS3
and
games
their
in
problem is the price. Those are
there.
their two
Yeah.
problems. You
They're
know,
charging too much for
But
games. They're
Right.
charging too much for
how
these
many
games.
PS4 games do they have in there? That's what I mean.
None.
and
If you don't have, that's
probably
what I mean.
around
You need
eight.
the new games. I'm not talking
They
about
probably have
just the
around 8 to 10
overall library.
PS4 games.
But Xbox has said, all exclusives are coming day one. That's an incentive. Unless PlayStation does
Sony.
that, like their library still does
Sony. I
not
don't
amount
think
to what
Sony would
Xbox
ever do.
has.
No, Sony will never do that. They would never implement that on their. If they ever did a Game Pass
That's
service like
Well, it
Xbox,
depends on how if they're pushed, they could do
that's
it.
what I mean by
Yeah.
more of
Yeah.
what is coming to their library currently.
Well, that's
But
the thing. They're not being pushed right now, so they don't
Right,
care.
exactly.
Like Bane said, if they're gonna get pushed, then they'll care. But I don't think,
mhm,
right now they're not getting pushed
true.
to do, you know, that put all their games day one on their streaming service. Like
Yeah, Microsoft is only doing that because they are in a
because
position.
Yes,
because they're in
That's
last
it.
But
position.
this is
If
why I want to go
Microsoft
Yeah.
back
was in
to
if
I want to go back
Microsoft was
to
in play was in Sony's position, they wouldn't be doing this. Or
yeah.
you wouldn't have it right now. I mean, you
No.
may get it way down the line, but you wouldn't have it now.
Yeah.
No.
It's just the
And
nature of the business,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to talk about. So you guys said that you think that the generation, like maybe like just the basis will stay the same, but I don't think so. I think right now Xbox is doing enough to show that even if a PlayStation owner is not going out and buying an Xbox now, when the next generation comes, they may be enticed to do so, so long as Xbox, doesn't have a fuck up like with like DMR whatever it was that they had with the OG Xbox. I think that there's definitely plenty of fan base that will come from the PlayStation to the next Xbox because of what
that's
let's
Xbox is
just
currently
say
doing in all
that
their
depends
service
on the
department.
games though too. If they
exactly. That's
come
what I
out
was
Yeah,
about
with
to go
games,
to.
Yeah, they gotta
Because
drop us. They gotta give us games
look,
like
they
we
gotta
want.
drop games, man.
we're going to say that both systems this time around are gonna launch about the same as far as power, because that's probably what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
They're both gonna be on par as far as power. It's gonna be
Yeah.
strictly about the game library.
Yeah, because the
And
power is
if
not gonna make a difference as
and
long
if
as they don't
and
have
if
those games like
Xbox
don't have the
doesn't
games like
pick up their
PlayStation.
quality, if Xbox doesn't pick up their quality of exclusives,
Mm-hmm.
then no, you won't have a change.
Mhm.
You'll just
Yeah,
have the
that's-
PlayStation guys keeping it with PlayStation, and
Yep.
then you'll have the Xbox crowd keeping it with Xbox.
Yeah,
And you'll
but
have
I
the
think
same discrepancy next
Yep,
generation.
we've always been talking. We've always
well,
been
yeah,
talking
but
about.
so it definitely plays into the games. But I think what I'm trying to say is I think there are probably 20 to 30 million people, let's say, on each platform that are just gonna buy the next iteration because that's where they game.
Yeah,
And you also have some people in that realm as well as the rest of the consumers that are gonna buy both consoles. But then you have a big percentage of people that I think which is the larger percentage of the market that will be that can be persuaded either way. So I think it does come down to not only a games system, as I was saying. Xbox has such an emphasis on their services because they're trying to catch up to PlayStation. So if they carry those over and PlayStation doesn't, well, if they highlight that and they market it well,
Yeah,
then
and
there's a big chunk of the
that's your
Sony
plug
market that
right
might
there,
come to
Rebates.
Xbox.
I'm glad you said that. You said if they highlight it and if they market it well, which Microsoft has not done really good. This
they haven't done
generation.
any marketing. They
So
just
if
like,
they
don't
keep
care.
the same strategy as this generation, again, like I said, all you'll have is everybody going to the PlayStation 5 and
Yeah.
everybody staying with Xbox. You'll have the same discrepancy.
Yep,
Microsoft has
you're right,
several
Baines.
things that they have to change in order to get this lopsided number to come their way
sure.
some next generation.
It's still definitely going to be an uphill battle for Microsoft.
Yeah.
But I think there's definitely, I don't think the
Because I mean, you should see Game Pass. Game Pass is like one of the best things this generation. I mean, it really is, and they should be screaming it from the rooftops.
Oh
but you don't see
promoting
it
the hell
everywhere.
out of it.
You don't see it enough. I mean,
No.
they have a diamond in the rough. If they would just market it correctly, I mean, they
put some good
could
games
bring,
on it.
they could bring a lot more people back. I mean, back. Well, just say back, because a lot of people went from 360 to the PlayStation 4. So they could bring a lot of gamers back if they would just market it correctly.
Where's that marketing strategy they had in the 360? Or what happened? Because they lost one guy, or this like another person didn't want to go the way that they were going? They decided, we had all those exclusive rights to Call of Duty and all that other stuff. Like,
I mean, I think there's a lot playing into it. You know, there's probably like some things there's probably some budget factors, like maybe you can't market if you don't have money, and maybe Microsoft put some constraints on the money, you know, being given to Xbox. But
because Microsoft's got money, I think it's just they're not using that money towards the Xbox division as much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, like all the resources of software and all that stuff. You know, like. What are they actually doing? Are they actually going out and getting studios like they say they are? Because I haven't heard nothing. You know, we haven't even heard nothing about Crackdown 3. Where's Crackdown?
Yeah,
no hype for Crackdown.
Yeah, right. I don't. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think Sony has to do much if Microsoft does not succeed in marketing their better aspects. You know,
right?
If things stay the same, yes, things will carry over. Sony doesn't have to do jack fucking shit. But if Microsoft is coming out hard in the next generation, well, then Sony's gonna have to get some of their shit together as well. Because they have been slacking on services. So.
They have.
I'm saying Microsoft's got to bring something hard at E3, man. You know, you don't want to show games that are years away, but Sony does it, and people love it. People are hoping, hey, that game's coming. It's coming. It's there. You know, it's there. It's there for somebody to come.
Sure.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where the next console generation goes. It's definitely up in the air right now. We just don't know. You know, it's good. It's a good thing to talk about though, because I think it gets us thinking about what's coming next, and it sounds like if our predictions are right, it sounds like power is not going to be the issue. The games are going to be the issue, and Microsoft.
They don't have games. There's nothing other than power ain't going to make no difference. If Sony has power, and still, even we got the power narrative now, it don't really make a difference because Sony's got the games that people want to play.
Yeah, and I think Microsoft's just got to step up, man. I mean, I know you guys. I know over there they're like, oh well, we want to make sure, they're trying to play the we don't want to step on anybody's toes.
Man, they gotta be brutal.
It's like you've got to, man. This is a different.
Bill's got to go down and drop his balls.
Yeah, man. I hate
drop his balls on the table and say, "Here, boom, this is what the fuck we got."
I really hate to get into like conversations like that, but yeah, man. I mean, if
you don't want to,
if you're on your team, I mean, I guess you want to be a gentleman, and you're like, okay, yeah, good, congratulations, but don't be talking. I mean, you don't really need to do that. I mean, one football player to another, they may shake hands after the game, and then that's a stretch sometimes.
But during the game, they're trying to fuck one another up, right?
Don't be congratulating them about their success.
And they just don't.
Sony don't say, "Hey, Sea of Thieves is a great game."
It's
hey,
just
great
like
job,
today. What's his name? Yabar was saying how he couldn't wait to play God of War. I understand that. I do understand, but still, part of me is like, come on, man, really?
I think tweet out saying congratulations.
You can be excited to play it, and you can play it, but
you don't see Sony saying it to us. Hey, congratulations on the Sea of Thieves launch, man. Fuck, they don't give a fuck.
But I'm saying, be excited, but be excited in private.
Yeah,
be excited in private. You're part of Microsoft.
It's like you fucking. If you work at Google, you don't fucking be, in front of a camera and hop on goddamn Bing and search some shit.
Right.
Say, I like to wait for the new iPhone, man. I can't wait.
yeah, I'm really loving this Bing search. I'm sitting here at Google, but I really love Bing.
I
Like
love Bing. I don't like
Yeah.
you
Google.
don't do
They
that.
will
I
get
mean, who
criticized for
does
that.
that?
Yeah,
And
for
so,
No,
sure.
like I said, I
that's
hate
the
to get
thing.
into
Like
stuff like that, but
Microsoft, like Xbox and Microsoft, they're the only ones who do that shit. It's like you
Mhm.
guys gotta stop. Well, I mean, not so much Microsoft because Microsoft doesn't say anything about Apple products. They're always
Mhm.
trying to,
right, right, right,
But
right.
Like,
What?
it's
why?
like
Why?
It's
it's
just
like they're
Xbox.
it's just Xbox.
It's
Like,
just
why is
Xbox.
Xbox
God.
talking about
You
these
need
games like that?
somebody needs to go there and get slapped in the damn face. That's what it is.
And I
Like,
never thought
what the
about that,
fuck you
Artemis,
doing?
but you were completely right.
It's
Like, you
crazy,
don't see
man.
Microsoft out congratulating Apple. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like, you
yeah,
really
they
don't
don't
see
do
that.
that. And
No.
Yeah.
it's like I get that you want to be, kind of neutral and saying, hey, I'm glad, God of War is getting great reviews. I can't wait to play it. I play
Right.
on all systems. I play on everything. I play on
Like,
PC
who
too.
cares? I'm like,
PC Master
Hashtag
Race,
gamer.
bro.
like,
Come on,
Like,
man.
but it's like, dude,
just like you said, Baines, keep it private to yourself, man. Don't
Yeah,
yeah,
throw
keep
that
it to
shit
exactly.
like so.
yourself. Keep it
Don't
to
pray that,
yourself.
man. Keep it to yourself, man. Don't throw that shit on social media where everybody's like, "What the fuck is he
Exactly.
exactly doing that for?" Like,
Exactly.
That's like branding 101 though, which is like
yeah,
I don't.
they're branding
You
their,
don't brand the
company
other.
to them,
You
to
brand your
you,
own shit. You
man.
believe
Right.
in your product. You wear your shit with
Right.
pride, and
Yeah, hype
nobody
your
else's.
shit up.
Because I mean,
Don't be
if you
hyping
wanted,
other people's shit.
if Sony was say like Sony needed some type of extra kick in their marketing, they could use that against them. They could say, hey, even the Xbox execs are excited to play our game. They could use that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're giving them ammunition. I don't understand that. But see,
yeah, it's
the
crazy.
only thing is Sony's just not in a position where they need to use that ammunition. They don't need it. But if they needed it, they could use it just like that. So why are you
Yeah,
going to give them
Exactly.
something that they could possibly use?
yeah,
Yeah.
That don't make sense.
man. They need
Yeah.
to just drop it, man. Drop the
I
ball on
think
E3, dude. Just say, hey, dude, we got this, we got that.
I
Where's our new
think
studios? I want our new studios. Where's our new studios, dude? Come on, where
I
they
don't
at?
know. I
Where
don't
they
know.
at?
But I think this is the first time I ever heard Baines, just go off
That's what I'm
on
talking
Xbox.
about, Baines.
Damn it!
Baines is
Yeah,
doing it,
About
man.
damn time.
what?
About
Shit.
time,
But
broke out that
when I
silk,
saw
Baines.
that on Twitter today, it just kind of irked me. I'm like, because I really
Yeah.
don't get into all that mess anyway. But
Right.
still,
Yeah.
I'm thinking from a business standpoint. Like, come
Yeah.
on, man, are you
Man,
serious?
you got a
Like,
big ass company and you can't do
that don't make
what Sony
sense.
does.
It
With
just
Sony,
doesn't make
Sony,
sense.
it don't make sense to me, dude. It's like I'm scratching my head. Like I even sent out some tweets to Phil. I actually tweeted out to him and said, "Hey, I was just wondering, you have any news on Crackdown 3? Because I seems like you guys have not talked about it at all." And he actually replied to me and said, "Yep, we do. It is still coming." I'm kind of surprised since it's been delayed 2 times already.
I guess we'll
Yeah.
see.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
We'll see. We're gonna move on from that and talk about the new Walking Dead game. They just came out with a new trailer. What'd you guys think of the trailer? I mean, it was a cinematic trailer. There's no gameplay, but it's kind of getting you hyped for this game that's supposed to be 4-player co-op, pretty much like Left 4 Dead.
And
It's
some state of the
supposed
cake
to be like a
kind of thing.
multiplayer type of game. So,
Mm.
I mean,
That's what I was gonna say. I didn't look.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I was actually gonna say. I was actually gonna speculate. Like it seems like first they had Aiden. I forgot to write down her name. Whoever they showed off.
Yeah,
Maya, Mia.
yeah, Mia. I think it was
Yeah.
Mia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
She was like a nurse or something like that.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, she's a nurse. I wonder if this is a 4-player co-op character-based game with and she's like a medic or something.
It does look pretty good.
That's what was coming together in my mind. But I guess it confirmed that,
Yeah, she's
but
a medic. So in the game,
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool getting these kind of backstories on where these characters were when when before the attack happens and during it during the start of it. So I'm pretty pumped for this, and honestly the fact that it is the this kind shaping up to be kind of like probably a character with a certain set of skills and stuff, that's my kind of game. So
Yeah.
that's coming up right up my alley, so I'm pretty excited.
Oh yeah. Up to props for Star Pre Studios. So they're doing the game. So They
Yeah.
did a pretty. They
So
did some
we
good games before.
is it? I mean, is it going to be like more like State of Decay, or do we know anything
It,
else about?
I think it's gonna be almost kind of like a mixture of State of Decay and Left 4 Dead. I think
Okay.
that's kind of what they're kind of going for. I mean, it looks, I mean, it looks like something that's gonna be up my alley because I mean, I like killing zombies, but
Oh yeah, I love zombie games, so
But
it's like that's a definite must buy for me.
so I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna pick it up because if it's only co-op and it's only multiplayer,
Mhm.
yeah, I need something more than that. I need,
well, no,
some
see where
story
my
going
mind
on.
drifted, and
Some like some
where my
walking,
mind
some
was
Telltale
drifting,
games.
and maybe you can tell me if they confirm this, but where my mind was drifting is that this would be more of a, like such as a Borderlands character system, where you have a character with certain abilities, you upgrade those abilities over time, such as Mia, she would be like the medic, for example, in a group, and you don't have to play as a group. Like you could play solo, like you can play Borderlands solo. But obviously, if you have a group, you could have differing abilities that play off each other and stuff. And like one player might have control abilities, one player
Yeah, that
is
sounds
a
pretty. That sounds
supporting
pretty good,
player.
man. I like
That's what
that.
that's kind of why I was gathering possibly what could possibly come. But so have they confirmed the fact that these characters will have traits such as that, or no?
No, they haven't. They
I have
haven't even
not.
Okay.
said much. They did.
No.
They've just said, they've just put out the trailer, and then they also
Yeah.
just did that. On
Yeah.
Inside Xbox, and the guy even asked him like, "Do you have anything else to tell us?" Like when there's a release date, and the guy was like, "Nope." Like,
Yeah, 'cause
okay, like it's like
this game
okay,
was
well, this
released
game's probably gonna be,
back in
you know,
2016. They released a trailer, and they haven't really been. This is like the first time they
Yeah.
actually talked about the game in a while
yeah.
because everybody thought it was
Well, they
delayed
haven't
or
even
something.
shown us gameplay yet, so it's like,
Yeah.
well, okay,
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah,
see.
Like I knew
the
the
game
game.
looks polished. The game looks real polished with the cinematic and the flashbacks where they're showing like where they at before what the game two at the time with the trailer.
Yeah,
Right.
like I knew the game had
But
co-op,
is it
but
gonna look like that when it comes out?
hopefully.
I
I'm
hope so.
thinking. I'm hope so. If it does, man, I'm definitely buying. I love Walking Dead. I watch the Walking Dead show every Sunday, so this
Well, I mean,
definitely
like
be a game.
that's what I imagine this game as being like. Like I knew the game was co-op, but that's what I was speculating on. Is it gonna be this? Like I was saying, like the Borderlands character. It has a similar thing, like a similar intro of like, hey, here's this character, here's a little bit about them, and
Hmm.
this is what they're gonna do, and then you pick whatever character you want to play as.
Yeah, if it's like
Right.
Left 4 Dead, that'd be pretty cool too. Everybody's got their own little. I mean, their own role into the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like you said, medic, and there's gonna be somebody for support. Just like any other game. But who knows? Maybe they'll implement like Telltale games where it's decision making in certain areas of the game where you have to.
Fuck that. We already have that shit. I just
Yeah.
want to go through a whole world. I want to have some RPG and survival elements and some sort of story
So
to
like a
progress
State of
through that
Decay kind
game.
of thing. Like everybody just be together and stick together survival.
Yes,
Right.
that, but more polished than State of Decay.
More polished.
And different too. I mean, State
Yeah.
of Decay is a survival kind of like building your wherever your home base is kind of.
Exactly.
I feel I want this. I hope this is a more story. Your progression is based on story, not on.
Oh yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Getting
Right.
places and getting places to survive
Like,
in, and like keeping it up to
yeah.
keep the zombies away and all stuff like that.
Like maybe like I mean just as in like the TV show, maybe you find this sanctuary seeming place, you settle down, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden you got whoever they're the leaders or
Yeah.
some crap like this
Yeah.
that you got to take care
Don't
of.
make it like the damn TV show.
I'm just saying. I'm just
Don't
saying
make
for
it
an
like the damn
example
TV show, man.
of like a situation
Like-
that could happen. A situation.
Yeah,
that could
but then they're just gonna keep doing that situation over and over again every
Oh,
goddamn
yeah, I
season.
don't want
Oh,
to
you
do
let the
that.
otter out.
I don't want them to do that. But I mean, I don't know how exactly what they're thinking
Well,
So,
maybe they'll do a different
you know,
spin on what we had played before. Maybe it's something different. I hope it's something different. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm
I'm
hoping.
gonna move on from Walking Dead. I'm done talking about that crap. You're gonna talk
Talk about
about
my show there, Mark. Don't talk about my show.
we're gonna get it. We're gonna get on to the last topic of the evening, which is Bethesda's. Pete Hines says that E3 will have a variety lineup. Basically, what he was saying was is that he's gonna the lineup for their E3 is gonna be a lot of different genre of games, and that intrigues me because it might mean that we might see something for maybe Elder Scrolls. Maybe,
Oh,
maybe
that'd be
not,
nice.
maybe not in like terms of like gameplay or anything like that. We might see like a little teaser trailer, like just a little small
nah,
teaser
dude,
trailer.
that shit's far off. Bethesda. I follow Bethesda a little bit more closely, and like, they have two big games coming out
You
before
just crushed
they
all
they
my
said
hopes and dreams.
they said
Ain't it?
huh?
You just
Crush
crushed all my
hope.
hopes and dreams.
Ain't it? You
They
just
said,
stomped
yeah,
on
they
him.
said
You
Oblivion
stomped on him.
6. It's there. It's gonna happen. But I mean, they have at least two big projects that are gonna come out before it, and they work on one game at a time. And their current game, which is why I think a lot of people speculate that the last show had kind of a space theme to it. Bethesda's last E3 show had a space theme to it. Is they think they might have pulled this supposed possible space RPG game early, and right now
Yeah, I
they
heard
have a
that.
Yeah,
trademark on it called
that's been
Starfield.
canceled.
Huh?
That game's been canceled.
He's all
That
like,
game's been canceled.
he's like, huh? Trying to crush your hopes and dreams, damn it!
Yeah, damn.
That game, what? Starfield has been canceled?
No, it hasn't. I'm
Yeah,
just
Nah.
no,
I was,
he's just
I was
pulling
like,
the
I was like,
chain,
I was
man.
just fucking looking at something today, man.
They
What?
might bring back Prey 2. They
I
said
was like, what?
Prey 2 is probably in the future.
I was like, how can
that-
something be canceled if it wasn't announced, man?
they were talking about, there is a future for Prey, and then the Starfield. So I mean, we'll probably see those. We probably won't see Prey, but we'll see. We'll definitely, I think, we'll see Starfield.
Well, I think we'll see
at
some like Prey
E3.
DLC and Starfield, and
Yeah.
and they also
I still
have
haven't even played Prey yet.
they also
so I
have
don't even know
another
how the game
game
is.
that is supposed to be in the works that I think is a lot further off, but I think we might still get like some kind of teaser trailer from. So
Isn't there?
Yeah.
those are my
I
predictions.
think I know what you're talking about, and it's like another post-apocalyptic type of game, something like that, right?
I don't know if they've said the exact genre or anything. I just know, yeah, like based off what
But it's not like Fallout. It's more like in a third-person view, isn't it? Something like that.
possibly I don't know about that. I just know that like like Todd Howard has said that their focus is still on worlds, but they want to get away from the Skyrim, and I think they want to get away from post-apocalyptic too. Maybe just Fallout post-apocalyptic, because I was looking at an interview and he did say like all the people in the studio made a list of like what their top world kind of building game would be, and I mean post-apocalyptic was at the top of the list, but there's a lot of other stuff that they want to get
Honestly,
into, and they've been trying to make a
I think
space
they're
game for a while.
gonna have
honestly,
VR stuff, more VR stuff. That's what they're gonna have.
I don't think they're gonna have a ton of that. I think what I think they're gonna have is, what I'm hoping that they'll have is a cyberpunk type of game. That'll be cool.
You don't think they'll have a
That'd be
space
nice.
game?
I think they'll have the space. I think they'll have the space one. I think they'll have space Starfield, that RPG. But I think I'm hoping that they'll have like a cyberpunk type of game as well. Even if it's not like their typical first person mode, or
I don't know how well they like cyberpunk.
I wish
game
they would have
space
kept the
game,
same
though.
direction like they did with that first Prey alpha they had before they changed it. The bounty hunter game.
Mm-hmm. What
Which
about
one
it?
was that?
Say that again.
Because when they first announced Prey, they said they're making Prey 2 and a human head.
Oh
was
yeah,
making
yeah.
it. Yeah. And they had that cinematic trailer where that guy was in a futuristic area and he was going out for bounties, like in that futuristic city. And he had all these crazy little gadgets,
Yeah,
Or
they might bring
I
that back.
that's
Because I
what I
mean, I
liked.
bet
I liked the part when they did that, and then when Human Head decided that they're not on the project anymore, and then
right.
Bethesda. I think I forgot the guys who did Dishonored did the game.
Mhm.
Uh, Arcane.
Arcane Studios, they did that
Yeah,
instead of Human Head because Human Head was the first company that did the first Prey. I liked the
and that
first Prey; it was a great idea.
and that second Prey was more cyberpunk type of
Yeah, it was. It was
game.
more
Yeah.
cyberpunkish because it looked great, and then they just took it away and said it wasn't the direction they wanted to go. They could have taken that idea and kept it. I think they should have done.
Well,
Yeah.
he did say in the article that he hopes that they have a game for everybody, a game that they're going to show at E3 for everyone. So I don't see, like, I know how you're saying there's going to be more VR, but I think VR is great and
There's
all,
definitely going to
but
be
I don't
some
think they're
VR,
going to show a
but
ton
nothing
of
new.
VR. I think they're going to show
Uh,
just
Well,
like
they're always going to have
they're
some,
probably
but
going to
they're
focus.
gonna have some
I
VR. I know
I
they
think
already
they're
did
like making a lot
Skyrim.
of their all. They
They
already
already did
have
Skyrim
IPs
and
and just
stuff, and
transporting those
they
They'll
just
probably
transported
at
the
they'll
games
probably
they
once
had.
VR.
show what they'll probably show is like Wolfenstein
Wolfenstein
VR.
VR. Yeah.
Yeah, or something like that. They already did Doom and Skyrim, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna
Yeah.
all games that they have
Do they have
made.
Fallout VR?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So I
So
mean,
They have nothing else to go out there from VR from
even
their own
within
games they
VR.
my
have.
big thing is then like Bethesda last year, man, their show absolutely sucked. It was an absolute joke. It was like half a fucking hour.
Oh,
So they
it was
gotta
Yeah,
all
they
they
gotta
need
talking.
come
It
out
was all
bigger.
talking mostly. It was just
they
Yeah,
all
they
need to
gotta
go
come out
back to what
way
it
bigger
was
and
the year
better.
before. Like
Yeah.
that's what they need to do. They need to go back to where it was the year before, where Todd Hart came out and just was like talking, and then they had Pete Hines, and then
yeah,
they just had people coming out and
yeah.
talking.
Because they
Like
had Pete Hines
get Todd
talking.
Howard on the stage. That dude can sell a
Yeah,
game
they had
like
Todd Howard
that,
there when they
dude.
had did the Expo announcement, dude. They had him talking to him.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
only thing
exactly.
is that I hear that the
Like, what happened to
Starfield
that?
game is doesn't isn't is on the same like graphic engine as Fallout 4. So I don't know how much improvement of like how much of a leap that game will actually be in terms of like graphics and kind of mechanics in the game because Fallout can be a little clunky and stuff. But whatever their second project is supposed to be on a new graphics engine.
I'm hoping they're
Uh,
doing something different. I know they want to go somewhere towards what they have done before.
and I know you guys probably don't like hearing this. Well, neither do I, honestly, because I like I like my world building games and my multiplayer games, but I kind of like them separately. But there's also a lot of speculation about multiplayer coming into either of their next two projects because of like their new Austin studio. They've worked on a lot of multiplayer stuff in the past, and I mean, all Bethesda's games have had plans for multiplayer capabilities. They've just never actually done it. So
Yeah,
it'd be interesting.
don't do what Cliffy B did and make a battle royale game or a
Yeah,
hero shooter. Just make something different, make something new, something we haven't seen before.
I know
Maybe
He's
not
got
something
talent, man. But
completely new,
that
but at least something that's kind of steering us in the direction of actually playing this game, or whatever.
yeah, I don't think multiplayer will ever be necessarily the focus, at least not on these games. But I think there is definitely a high possibility of there being some kind of multiplayer aspect to either of their next few games.
I think Cliffy needs to
Especially
go.
with success of like their
Cliffy needs to
illustrables
go back
online.
to his formula that he was good at, man. That's all he needs to do. I don't think he has the stomach for trying to do what everybody else is trying out now with battle royale stuff.
Yeah, man.
We'll see. I mean, it's going to be an interesting E3. I think this year's E3 is going to be bigger than it has been, like, ever. I think this E3 is just gonna, I think on both sides, I think on Microsoft and PlayStation, and I even think on the Switch. Like, I think
Yeah,
Nintendo's really
Switch
gonna
is
bring
too.
Well,
something.
even the
Yeah,
other,
and plus they're moving the venue to a different place now from
yeah,
what
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
had
even
last
the
year.
other
So
big publishers,
could be change a whole big change, a whole different. Everything be focused on what they have in their own little area. Not got got all these other companies picking from which one you want to look at. Now they got everything organized just the way they want it. So why
yeah,
not use that space for something?
Yeah, I mean, Bethesda is definitely gonna have a game. I don't know when. I mean, Bethesda kind of has recently been coming out. They announced their games at E3, and then they released that fall. Like Wolfenstein did, and Fallout did the year before. So I wonder if Starfield is the game that comes out that is supposed to be coming out. I wonder if they're gonna actually come out this fall, because there's a lot of big competitors such as Red Dead Redemption this fall, or if they're gonna wait a little bit for the spring, or what exactly their plan would be, because their model has been announced and released like 4 months later. So that'll be
Yeah,
interesting as well.
it's gonna be very interesting E3. I think
Yeah.
a lot of these companies are taking a playbook out of Bethesda, what they did with Fallout 4.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna get a lot of announcements that we haven't heard of. I think we're gonna get a lot of stuff that we're looking forward to.
I think there's
And
just a lot of shit we don't know about right now, man.
yeah,
And
Yeah,
a
you're
lot of
right.
that's
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
come to E3. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
I think it's actually an exciting. I think gamers like to know what's gonna happen, but I think for the most part, a lot of us are kind of in the dark on what games are gonna be coming out.
well, especially since
Over
2018
the
has
next
been
year and a half.
kind of a dry year, like so
Yeah.
far. Like it's been kind of dry. Like I mean,
Yeah.
there's been games, there's been hits, there's been stuff that's come out that we're like, oh man, I want to play that. That's gonna be awesome. I can't wait for that. But for the most part, it's been kind of dry. So I think they're saving a lot of this stuff for E3, and I think hopefully they're not saving all of it for the end of the year, because I think that's gonna break all of us in
Yeah, I
terms
know.
of our
Yeah.
wallets and stuff. But I think if they play their cards right, they say the beginning of even the beginning of next year, and then the fall of this year, these games are coming out. This is what's coming out. I think people are gonna be like, wow, okay, we're gonna have some solid months of games that we're just gonna be able to just dive into and play.
Yeah.
So I think
And I mean, like, even
they
on
just gotta
this,
come out with good stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
and even
Yeah,
on
they
the
do.
Sony end, who tends to announce their games earlier. I mean, we
Yeah.
still don't know that much. Like we
Right.
know Days Gone is
Right.
gonna
Sony's
come.
E3 is probably going to be a big surprise, actually.
Yeah, like we know Days Gone is gonna come. We know Last of Us and Death Stranding are gonna come at some point
Mhm.
as well. But I mean,
Yeah,
that's
they're
it.
coming.
So
Yeah.
we got a lot of.
Well,
I think we
Ghost.
have a lot to look forward to this year.
And that's the
Yeah.
thing, we don't know when Death Stranding or The Last of Us
Last of
2 is
Us 2 is
coming.
coming.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
think
don't know
those
Those
are
nothing.
probably
still
next
pretty far
generation
off.
They
titles,
got to be
man.
next generation.
Those
There's
could
no
be,
way.
yeah, those could be pretty far off. I mean, those could come out next generation, but I don't know, man. I can see them coming out for this generation of consoles. Maybe right around the same time that the next console launches, but they also have it for the PS4
Oh,
as
kind of like a
well.
remaster like they did The Last of Us.
Yeah.
No, more like, no, more like a, like
A remaster of a remaster?
That would fall
like
in line right
like
with
maybe
Sony's plan.
like as soon as they drop the PS5, I think The Last of Us comes out that same day. Like that same day, that'll be their biggest game.
Yep.
Or that or Death Stranding, which I don't think Death Stranding is going to be that. But I think
I
it'll
think Death
probably be The
Nobody,
Stranding's
Last of Us
weird.
nobody
2.
knows what
Last
Death
of Us
Strand's
already
all
has a
about.
fan base. People already
Right.
like Last of Us,
And
hype
The
about
Last
it.
of Us has a
And
fan
that would
base, and I
be a
think
much better launch title.
launch title, yeah.
Well,
Right.
I think that would be the best course of action. Last of Us 2020 release with the PlayStation 5, and then Death Stranding comes out whenever it does, and it's like too weird of a game to be like your big. I think unless you're actually into games, you're not looking into Death Stranding necessarily.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
Or
I
a horror
think
fan.
Xbox, that's the thing. They're more on the fence. We don't know what's gonna happen with Xbox.
no, we don't know
Halo
anything.
6 might be the next generation of consoles.
Yeah, because they haven't
It's
talked about
true.
Halo at all, dude. They
Um,
usually
And they're
show some
usually
kind of.
they're usually
They
pushing
usually
those
showed
out.
some trailer or like a tease, but they haven't teased anything about that
Yeah,
game.
they haven't said
343
nothing.
Studios hasn't said anything about the new game.
Well, I
And
mean,
who knows? We
last
might see something at E3. We might
yeah.
see something
Who
there.
knows?
Well, that's the thing. Like last E3, they didn't need to come out with anything on Halo. The year before,
No.
they had Forza Horizon and Gears. So they haven't needed
I know
any
somebody who would
news
beg to
on
differ
Halo.
on that on Halo.
Yeah, I know. Xbot, but but that's like
Bot would be like, "How dare you, sir?
How dare you say that? Halo's never coming out of
Yeah.
Xbox. Never.
Yeah, but I think like so they haven't had cause necessarily to announce Halo yet. So if they were, unless they are planning on waiting, I think this E3 would be when they announce Halo. If they plan to come out with it, on this generation of console, they just haven't had to talk about it yet, and that's why we haven't seen.
That's the best place to do
yet,
it at is E3, dude. It's the best place to do it at,
Yeah, and if it's not there this E3, I think we can expect it in the next gen, probably.
Yes, they don't talk about it.
There's no point in coming out with it when your consoles only have a year left of lifespan.
Honestly, I think it'll either be Halo,
or maybe it'll be forwards and backwards compatible.
Honestly, I think it'll either be Halo that'll be the launch title for the next Xbox, or it'll be Gears of War, the next Gears of War for the launch title. I think they're kind of taking a play out of Nintendo's playbook with Zelda Breath of the Wild. Because that game came out launch date of the Switch, and that was very smart of them because they, look at how many consoles that sold. Like that sold a ton of consoles.
When you only had like 4 games.
A shit ton of consoles. Well, so I mean, and people were like, "Oh man, now we're not gonna have anything for months." And then people were complaining about it, but then of course they kept their console Odyssey because what came out after that, Mario Odyssey. So it's like, they kind of, I think they're kind of seeing that. And I think both companies are kind of like, well, maybe we should do a little bit of what Nintendo was doing.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think Sony and Xbox need probably a bigger launch lineup than say a company like Nintendo. But that's the thing, Nintendo didn't have many games, but sometimes it just takes that one fucking killer app,
killer game that just to carry that system up, to carry it up.
That's what is gonna get the system into people's homes.
Yeah,
that's true.
True it is.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see what we see at E3, and
E3 ain't that far away either. It's a couple months away,
the thing.
man.
Yeah, man, it's not that far. I mean, it's not even. I don't even think it's a couple months away.
2 months away, dude.
I think. It's only. It is
2 months.
Like 2 months,
pretty much.
Yeah, 2 months away. 2 months away. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. We'll see.
Take a few days.
See if they.
What?
See if they got their balls intact.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I know for sure. Sony's gonna come there to play, and I know Nintendo's definitely gonna be there to pick up the scraps or whatever. They're gonna be there.
They're second, but they always get leftovers.
But they also come out with
second but loved
solid games.
Yep. Yeah.
They come out with some solid games, and I think they're gonna show that at E3 too. This year.
Just pop out a Metroid simple and put 4, and boom, everybody goes fucking buck wild.
Yep, pretty much. But you guys have any other thoughts on any of the topics of the evening before we get out of here and before we do our intros, fellas?
No, sir.
Nope.
Oh, there's one thing I got to talk about.
What's up?
I was watching PAX East, and I did see them actually have DayZ running on the Xbox One X. I don't know if you guys seen it. Yeah. It looked pretty damn good for a game that's been in preview for like 4 years.
They officially came out with a release for it because of like PUBG and shit and Fortnite being successful. So they have like a real version of it where they added on a few things now of DayZ. I was thinking of H1Z1, not DayZ. Fuck. DayZ.
Yeah, it was DayZ. Yeah, because they had DayZ. They had this other game called Scum.
I think either way, DayZ's fucking dead. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Nobody didn't even play it. It was been in preview forever on Steam forever.
I mean, that's essentially what H1Z1 did. It took the fun aspects of DayZ and cut out all the boring shit. Like
that is very true. Yeah. Alrighty, fellas. let's get into our outros. I'm gonna start with M Baines. Where can they find you, man?
And Bangs 99, PlayStation, Xbox, and Twitter. And I enjoyed it, man. Glad to have you back, Optimus.
Yeah, man. Glad to be back. Um, Sir Remix, where can they find you, dude?
Yeah, Remix Essence across the board. Hit me up if you want to play some games, and we out.
Sir Monkey Punch, where can they find you?
They can find me on Twitter, Monkey Baby, aka Monkey Punch. They can find me on Xbox on the same name, Monkey Punch 77, and on PlayStation PSN is the same name. It was great to have Dark back. It's been a while, but great talk, great show today, guys.
Mm-hmm. For
Definitely,
sure.
man, definitely. And I was your host for the evening, Dark Optimus. You guys can find me on Twitter at Dark Optimus. You can also find me on Xbox Live at the same name. You can also check me out every Saturday on the next podcast at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And you guys can always check me out here on the Quest podcast. And I also want to thank everybody who, I posted up on Twitter, what was going on with my situation, and I appreciate everybody who came out and showed me some support and everything. I really appreciate it. You guys are really getting me through a tough situation right now, and this is kind of the reason why I came back and wanted to do the show this week. I was actually going to take another week off, just because of just things have been going on. But I was like, I gotta do it for the people who are supporting me and letting me know that they have me in their prayers and my family in their prayers. So definitely appreciate everyone who has said what they've said on Twitter and really do appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. We love you guys.
Yeah, we
Yep.
love you
Good
guys.
night, everyone.
Good night,
Peace
everyone.
out,
Peace.
everybody.
Peace out.